Auspicious greetings, everyone. Before we start, let us center ourselves by doing a few minutes of silent meditation. So if you have glasses, you can feel free to remove your glasses. Let's close our eyes. Let us just regulate our breathing as we gather our thoughts on our breathing, as we center and ground ourselves. Let us slowly take in a few deep breaths. Let's gently rub our palms together. Cover our palms on our eyes, top of our head, over our ears to the back of our neck. Let's rub our palms together again. Gently massage our shoulders, arms all the way to our fingers and wrists. Okay, so let us have a quick recap of what we have discussed and talked about last week. Basically, we covered the 4 immeasurable state of mind. So just like a reminder for every one of us that every day during our morning chanting, evening chanting, or even like before every meal, we will do the dedication merit. So if the Buddha's light verse itself, the first line is already the reminder for us to practice the 4 immeasurable states of mind, where we join our palms, and then even towards the end of the class, when we dedicate merit, we start with may kindness, compassion, joy, and equanimity pervade all worlds. So constantly, this practice has been reminded again and again in our everyday practice. Okay, so if you can recall, every time when we finish our class, we join our palms, and then we say the Buddha's light verse to dedicate whatever wholesomeness that we have cultivated during this hour to everyone. So again, it's a reminder of our practice of the four immeasurable states of mind, which is loving kindness, compassion, joy, and equanimity. Okay, so when we dedicate this merit to everyone, again, is a reinforcement of our practice of these four immeasurable states of mind. Okay, so that is what we have discussed last Saturday. So for today, we're going to look into the wonderful ways of keeping busy and dealing with tasks. So we all know that, you know, when it comes to business, are you busy every day? So every day, every moment, sometimes like, we're overwhelmed with so many things to do, taking care of families, doing whatever that we need to do at work. And sometimes on weekends, when day off, we'll be busy running errands, pay the bills. There are many things that we do every day. Okay, so I believe that we all live a life where it's constant on the move. Okay, so in this article, okay, Verbal Master Xing Yun said that being busy characterizes the lifestyle of people in today's society. Okay, like 100 years ago, the things that people are busy with, it could be slightly different than what we do every day today. And then in the past, like before electricity, before what is his name, who invented the light? And Edison? Yeah, before the invention of lightings, usually we end our day when the sun down. When the sun rise, we start our day. So the time is going according to the sun, like, being busy, doing many things. But today, with the convenience of like, the lights is on. And then basically, the time for us to do all the different activities, everything that we do, it has lengthened. Okay, and then looking at our lifestyle today, how do you feel about being busy? How do you feel about being busy? Okay. Can you hear? Okay, yeah, I can take the front stage. Yeah, so how do you feel about being busy? Okay, so this is a question that we can ask ourselves. Okay, you don't have to answer me right now, but this is the things you recognize yourself. Any of you there? Maybe sometimes like talking on the phone, oh, I'm so busy, I'm too busy. And then the younger parents is like, you see like the little ones like pulling mom's like clothing. Can I have this? Can I do that? Can I? And then there's baby crying here and there. And then the dog is like barking. Many things going on. Okay. And then like not only that, sometimes when we're on the way to somewhere, someplace, or when we want to start the car, realize that the engine is not starting, or the tire is like flat, or even those like cooking or many things. So the busyness that we embrace every day, no matter what you do as a living, I strongly believe that we all have many things to do. So in general, like we mostly busy with the work, career, personal or family obligations, and sometimes pursuing hobby or interests. And we might be busy with this. Okay, and of course socializing. Like we have our time with our friends, families. Okay, and then sometimes like we are busy keeping up with the current events. Okay, that this concert, we have this to do, the conference to go to. And of course, lastly, one of the main categories of being busy is we're busy learning, continuous education. Yeah. So, and of course, self-improvement, that is also the things that we might use our time in doing every day. Okay, so the question that we ask ourselves, how do we usually react to this busyness? Again, this is a question that we can ask ourselves. How do we usually react when we are busy? Sometimes like you're on the way, going to do certain things, and someone stop you halfway. Oh, can you help me do this? Or we already have like a plate overflowing, and then your boss says that, oh, can you help me do this? So how do we react, usually react to busyness in our everyday life, whether at work, family, or anywhere? Okay. Okay. So again, a reminder, by Venerable Master is like, no matter what we may be busy with, as long as there's fun, meaning, and value, okay, that could be endless wonders in staying busy. So what does it mean? That's the indication here. It's like, no matter what we do, no matter what we are busy with, okay, we have to find value. We have to find meaning. We have to find joy behind it, so that when we are busy, we still feel happy. We won't feel frustrated. We won't feel irritated. We won't feel like pulling the hair. Yeah. So this is a general introduction to what I would like to share with you. So there are 4 points of how we can stay in that mindset. Okay. First one is, that should be Dharma joy. Okay. In whatever that we are busy with. Okay. So you might be wondering, what is Dharma joy? Okay. We all know that there's joy, happiness, feeling like delighted in something that we do, right? But Dharma joy is mainly referring to the deep, lasting sense of happiness that arises from experience through various practices. For example, meditation, mindfulness, compassion, generosity, or self-reflection. Okay, like for example, sometimes people feel so happy by helping others. Okay, and even though it might take up some of your time, but when you're helping, you feel fullness, you feel happy. So that is the Dharma joy. Okay, and it is considered to be the key aspects of spiritual growth, and can lead to a sense of liberation and enlightenment in a way. Okay, so Dharma joy arises when we align our thoughts, words, actions with these principles, leading to a sense of inner peace, fulfillment, and contentment. So this is a definition of Dharma joy. Okay, let me give you an example. Okay, so this is a picture that were taken during our annual celebration. Okay, for those of you who join us for the Thank Buddha's Friday program, or for those of you who join us for the Dharma service, okay, nowadays we have to-go box, and sometimes we have it like the buffet style where you can have a meal at the temple. So this is behind the scene. You see like a group of volunteers, okay, spending hours washing the vegetables, cutting the vegetables, preparing, and even cooking. Okay, but then even though they might be cutting the same thing like carrots, daikons for hours, okay, but they still feel happy about it. It is because by spending hours in doing what they do in the kitchen, they have a sense of contentment and fulfillment. Why? Because whatever that they cut, whatever that they cook is for so many people. Okay, not to say here at Shifan Temple where we serve about like 100 people one time. Okay, but imagine that in Foguangshan, okay, we have almost 1,000 of people every single meal. So if you want to volunteer in Foguangshan, you might be cutting carrots for the whole day. You might be shredding the daikon for the whole day, okay? Or you might be washing dishes for the whole day. It is because there are so many people. When we are willing to share this with so many people in a way that we are bonding, creating this affinity with so many people, okay? So even like this is one of the pictures that were taken about like 20 plus years ago when Purple Monster is still able to walk. Okay, so this picture was taken in Japan. Okay, when we first had the water and land Dharma service, which is a very huge service that lasts for the whole week. Okay, but because it was in Japan that it was very new for them to have this service, so we basically have to ship all the instruments, all the cushions, everything from Taiwan over to Japan. So this is a picture where you can see like there's a truck. That is actually the cargo container, the container that is loaded with so many things in it. Okay. So when the container arrived, many of the disciples, venerables, started going out and say that, oh, we need to move the stuff, from the container, from the cargo. So, and then the disciple told Verbal Master, say that, oh, you can take a rest for now. We need to go and, carry and remove everything from the cargo out to the temple. When Verbal Master heard about that, he said that I'm going to help everyone too. So this was a picture that was taken. You can see like the joy within everyone's face, even though it is like, lifting, but when we do everything together, okay, we have this common goal. We have the same mission. When we complete everything, we feel a sense of contentment and fulfillment. Okay. And sometimes like it might be hard for people to understand through the writings, but when you really do it yourself, participate in being part of it, you will be able to experience what we call the Dharma joy. Okay, so in wordings that is on the article, Dharma joy is experiencing enrichments while learning and being busy. Okay, and then it is the joy that having a wholesome purpose in what we do, and it helps us focus. Okay, we have a common goal, we can focus and striving our best. Okay, and not doing things for the sake of just doing. Okay, so sometimes like if we are just being busy, not knowing why, not having a certain purpose, okay, or just doing things because it has to be done, especially when it comes to like in a workplace where one is being asked by the boss saying that, oh, you have to complete this by certain day. And sometimes that, as an occupation, like many people like have this job because of, interest. You chose this career because you're interested in doing what you do, but not everyone is like that. Sometimes people have a job just because of, like putting food on the plate every day, putting a roof over for the whole family. Yeah, that could be also one possibility. But if we just do things by just doing it without having interest, without having a certain goal, without having certain vision in what you do, this is what we call blind busyness. It's just like there's no purpose. You just do it. okay, without having that interest in doing what you do. Okay. And then it is not dependent on external circumstances or material possessions, but rather on cultivating a deep understanding of nature, of reality, and living in harmony with it. Okay. So sometimes we might be thinking that when you do certain things, one get praised, okay, for getting this thing done. But for us to really experience the Dharma joy within ourselves, is we do not have expectation from others, okay, not depending on the external circumstances, meaning that when you do a certain things, it's not because you want to be praised by others, but you just do it merely to be of service to the community, to be able to help others, or the fulfillment within the family. You just do it because you want to make sure that the whole family is happy, the whole family is contented, the whole family is satisfied. Okay, so not only within the family, sometimes like people volunteer in different organizations. Okay, that is also something that we mentioned about the experiencing of Dharma joy. And then when we are busy, usually busy people will not have illusion. Okay, because you do not have time to daydream. You do not have time to, think of something that is not there. Okay, you're being realistic. Okay, focus. Okay? Just want to focus on how we can do for others. Okay, what we can do. Okay, we have a very clear sense of purpose. Okay, and usually busy people will not have any hallucination or illusion or like not being realistic in a way. Okay, so let me share with you another experience of Dharma joy is when I first went to Foguangshan, okay, almost 20 years ago. We have the opportunity to sweep the floor, okay, sweeping the floor. And then in Foguangshan, you see like there are like many trees, and there's a huge the road everywhere. And every day after breakfast is for us to sweep the floor. Imagine like all the leaves, whenever there's wind blow, and then all the leaves is like fallen to the ground. So we have the opportunity to kind of like sweep all the fallen leaves. Okay, and even one day, whenever people visit Foguangshan, they walk on the road on this path, they notice that there's not a single fallen leaf, not a single one, but the trees are real. It is because not only ourselves, but we have almost 100 of volunteers taking turn throughout the whole day just to sweep the floor. Okay, and there was one time I remember Carl has mentioned to me that there was one time when he went to Foguangshan, walking on the path to this Buddhahood, okay, the path, okay, the Buddha road, we call it. He felt so happy. He felt so, it's that type of joy that is hard to describe. Looking at the cleanliness along the road, and he also saw like volunteers still sweeping the leaves, and some of the leaves are this small, the tiny ones, not like the leaves that with the maple tree or any of the leaves were bigger. Okay, but why, you might be wondering why volunteers are willing to spend time in sweeping the floor. Okay, the same thing as what I mentioned, whoever who walk on the road, they can also feel the joy because of the cleanliness in the environment. And the volunteers who work so hard in sweeping the floors, they can also experience the Dharma joy by seeing the contentment and fulfillment in one's smile. Okay, So imagine this road, we have thousands of people walking every single day. Imagine how much affinity that you can bond with others because of your action of just one action of sweeping the floor. Okay, so this is what we mentioned about Dharma joy. Even though you might spend hours being busy in sweeping the floor, or in cooking, in cutting, or in serving others, okay, but through that process of serving and helping, we experience Dharma joy. Okay, so this is the first point. Okay, and of course, like the previous picture that you can see, every quarter we have like the Balboa Park cleaning, right? So like sweeping the floors and weeding, even like removing some of the dead cactus or succulents, even though like you might think that this is just a small act of like keeping the garden clean, but through the community service, okay, we can also experience Dharma joy, okay, in a way, okay. So the second point I would like to share with everyone is there should be meaning in busyness, in staying busy. Okay, so between the blue and the green, the blue one is what we mentioned about mundane busyness, okay, meaning that it could be, it is just busy being just busy, just being busy. And then if we are busy with mundane things, something that is not really meaningful, that for example, okay, taking time, indulging in watching TV, movies, or drinking, or doing something that is just by doing it, okay. So in the point form that I have here is mundane busyness is just like just being busy. And if we are in that type of busyness, we might easily burn out. If we were just doing things for the sake of completing that task, one will easily get burned out, no longer have the motivation in staying busy, in completing it. And sometimes like when we mention about like, oh, busy multitasking, okay, is it really multitasking? According to the neurologist, they say that there's no such thing as multitasking. Our brain is just switching from one task to another, okay? Even though we might be doing things, this and that, but our brain actually needs to take time to transition from this task to another task, okay? So this is what we mentioned about just doing things for the sake of doing things. So by the end of the day, that type of busyness is actually wasting time. Okay, so this is mundane busyness in a way. So for the other hand, when it comes to meaningful busyness, okay, with a purpose, okay. So what does it mean by with a purpose? Like doing like, or with the meaning of staying busy is fulfillment, okay, that sense of fulfillment. And then we are focused on a few tasks, okay. And if we can have a meaningful busyness, we actually have a better time management. Okay, when we are focused, when we have purpose, when we have something in mind, we can be able to finish one thing after the other in a way that we reduce the time that we use. Okay, if we were thinking that I have so many things to do, I'm multitasker, I can do everything at the same time, we actually spend longer time in completing one task, because every time when we switch, we need to refocus. Okay, we need to recollect what we have done before and then continue on what we haven't finished. Okay, so this is another common sign every day. There's a saying that nowadays we have a red dot syndrome. So what does it mean by red dot syndrome? It's because like the cell phone, Usually, if you have any notification, there's a red bubble, your red dot on top of the icon. It says that, oh, you have 15 notification, 100 emails. All those are red dots. Okay, so usually nowadays, not usually, but nowadays, we might have a tendency of clicking our cell phone and clicking and checking the notification from time to time. It's because we are attracted to the red dots. Okay, we're always, like busy, like every just like our first class when we talk about from a day to a lifetime, when we talk about planning, many of the time that we spend on social media and checking our phones is like over 50, I believe it's like 56 times more than that within an hour. Okay. So, well, of course, it depends on individual. Sometimes like one is really busy with keeping track of the business. Okay, I'm not referring to those, but it's more of like leisure. It's more of like focusing on just wanted to take care and like too attracted to what is on the phone. Okay, we need to take a break from this type of busyness, the social media busyness in a way. Okay, because from our emails to cell phones to in computer chat rooms, and there are many things that is going on every single day. Okay, but sometimes we have to give ourselves a break, refocus, and to rethink the purpose and meaning behind everything that we are busy with. Okay, so that's the reason why Verbal Master Xing Yun always reminded us that when we can keep busy with a very meaningful purpose behind it, keeping busy is actually the best nourishment. Okay, when we are busy with learning, in enhancing our spiritual health, cultivate good causes and conditions, and bring our life focus into full play, and also to elevate the value of life. Okay, like for example, reading. For example, keep ourselves improving from time to time. Okay, that is meaningful busyness. Okay, and just like Verbal Master himself, when he was still around, every day he said that he lived a life of 300 years. Okay, he has written almost 400 books throughout his whole life, almost 400 books. Not to say like the articles that he has written, and not to say the one-stroke calligraphy that he has written. And every day, since the wake of the morning until at night, okay, he had many times like talking to people, answering questions. There are many things going on. So throughout his whole life, whatever that he's done, okay, is filled with meaning, because he always thought of what he can do for others. Okay, that's no personal time for him. And if you can recall when I shared with you a day of the Buddha's life, can you still remember that? What the Buddha did for the whole day, starting from early in the morning. The Buddha already started to talk to people, practicing meditation, and answering whatever questions that other beings have, not only humans, but also including other beings. And then even between the wee hours of 3 to 5, that is the only time where the Buddha take a rest. Yeah, and of course, like in the by noon, the Buddha also have some time for siesta. Okay, but throughout the whole day of the life of the Buddha is constantly what the Buddha can do for others. Okay, and the third one is that should be efficiency in staying busy. Okay, so what does it mean? With the division of work, there will be no need to rush. With planning, there will be no chaos. Okay. So for us to be busy, it's not just like, like the busy bee, not knowing what you're doing, just focus on taking the pollen or taking the honey. Okay. But for us, when it comes to busy life, well, we have to have proper planning in what we do, so that when we're busy, it's not chaotic busyness. Okay. It's something that well planned. And the other thing about efficiency is we work as a team. Okay. So within an organization, within a place, it's not just making sure that we finish our task by ourselves, but we learn how we can work as a team. Okay, teamwork is very important. Working together as a team, and also as a supervisor or a boss or anyone who overseeing a certain project, you learn how to allocate responsibility. But at the same time, we work as a team so that we can make sure that there's efficiency in what we do. Okay. So, and of course, organizing and also thinking of ways, how do we simplify tasks, simplify certain matters. So one of the examples that I thought about when I came across one news talking about Toyota, the car company, the car factory. Okay, so there was an incident where one of the board members, who is also the second generation of Mr. Toyota. Okay, so there was one time where this Mr. Toyota was like walking around the factory, checking everyone's how's everyone doing. The staff are like busy assembling, and then he came across this staff that has trouble fixing the backlight. The line keep on moving, and then he kind of like struggled to put on the backlight. Okay, and then as the car continued to move, he became more and more nervous. Because you have to keep on track. Okay, you shouldn't stop, because if you were to stop the production line, the company might lose of revenue because of longer lead time. Okay, and not only that, Mr. Toyota, which is one of the owner, happened to be standing next to him, making him even more nervous in what he's doing. Okay, and eventually Mr. Toyota said to him, pull the level and stop the production. Okay, of course that staff even more nervous. I couldn't do that. If I were to pull the line and stop the whole production line, I will be, costing a lot of money. Again, Mr. Toyota, repeat again the second time, pull the level and stop the production line. And then this staff making him even nervous. He even cannot hold the tool well. Okay. And the third time, Mr. Toyota mentioned again, pull the level and stop the production line, please. And then he took his hand, the staff hand, into the level and pull and stop the production line. At that moment, the owner, Mr. Toyota, said to the staff, safety is always our top priority. Okay. If you cannot fix this backlight properly, imagine how much more it will cost when people drive on the road. Okay, it's not just the money that costs, but it could be lives. Okay, and then eventually this staff kind of like learn and making him more aware of the mission of the company. And Mr. Toyota standing next to him and then asking him, now can you properly put in the backlight? And he did that, and then the whole production line continued on. Okay, and eventually the whole company knew about it. Okay, and then they know that the company really being serious in making sure the efficiency in the whole production line, in making sure safety is always the top priority. Eventually, all the staff within the factory became more focused in what they do because they know that they play a very important role in making sure that everyone's safety is in their hand. Okay, as in a way, because they're so focused, it makes the whole production line even more efficient and time saving. Okay, yeah. So this is just one of the examples of. I'm not saying something good about Toyota, but this is on the news. Okay, that how the company create this culture of enabling everyone to stay focused. And when you're focused, there's no chaos. When you're focused, we can be able to do certain things in a less time that we take. Okay, and not only that, another way of like efficiency, we mentioned about teamwork. Okay, this was happened in Foguangshan a few years ago. There was a temple, one of the historical temple that's over 200 years, and they are in the process of remodeling. And then they have what they call the copper ceiling, like the ceiling that is like very precious. But when they remodel the temple, this copper ceiling is already out of place. It doesn't match with the original architect already. So they're thinking ways of how to take care of this copper ceiling. And then they thought of us, Foguangshan. Okay, so eventually this temple contacted us and said that we have this historical temple. It's actually a Buddhist nunnery that needs to be restored, and the copper ceiling it will be out of place, but they are very precious. Will you be able to help us take care of it and preserve it? And we said yes. Okay. So when the whole thing being transported over to Foguangshan, we have all the monastics, all the students, everyone helping to take this ceiling from the truck, whatever that transported over into the Buddha Museum. Okay, and it took a lot of effort, everyone working together as a team. Not only that we restored the original painting of the copper ceiling. Okay, it actually has all the different manifestation of the Bodhisattva's painting on it, and also the wordings that says the mind of the Buddha. Okay, and the 3 copper ceiling were restored, and it has become part of the Buddha Museum's ceiling. Okay, but if without teamwork, this will not be possible. Okay, it takes a lot of like everyone's like in the same mission, in the same focus on getting this task completed. We have to work as a team, and it takes a lot of like effort that we're working together. Okay, so this is what we mentioned about teamwork. Not only we segregate different responsibilities, but sometimes it takes a team to complete a certain mission or certain task. Okay, and the 4th point is there should be value in staying busy. Staying busy not just for our own benefit. We should also work for the welfare of our family, okay, country, society, and especially for all humanity. Okay, starting from ourselves, family, country, society, and for the whole humanity, everyone. Okay, so what does it mean? Like having value should be value. Okay, so I know that when we mention about there should be Dharma joy in staying busy, there should be efficiency in staying busy, there should be value and also meaning in staying busy. But sometimes things just happen, Of course, like when you see this title, you thought of like, oh, the movie, but I'm just focusing on this one. Sometimes things just happen, everything, everywhere, and all at the same time, all at once. Okay. So the busyness that we experience every day, if our mind is to focus on something, okay, or feeling irritated or frustrated, we will be just like the lady in the picture, okay. But if we can embrace our own potential and recognizing like the priority of every task that we need to do, and recognizing the interconnectedness in all the tasks that we have to do. Sometimes for us to view the same task, whether negatively or positively, it is just a matter of a thought. It's just a matter of our perspective, how we view it. Okay, if we can find Dharma joy, meaning, efficiency, and value in whatever that we are busy of, okay, no matter things happen, everything, everywhere, all at once, we can still be able to handle it one by one, okay, and not feeling overwhelmed, not feeling what do you call that, burnout, not feeling that I just want to throw everything aside. Yeah, we will be able to change our mindset and just focus on one thing at a time and try to find the joy, try to find meaning, try to find value behind everything that we're busy of every single day. Okay, so conclusion, okay, always remember there should be Dharma joy, meaning, efficiency, value in staying busy. And of course, as part of encouragement to ourselves, the more we work, the more we can do. The busier we are, the more we can handle by just being busy. Okay, so the questions for everyone to contemplate and to comment, okay, is why do we sometimes react negatively towards busyness? Okay. This question we can only answer ourselves because we know ourselves better. Okay, why do we sometimes react negatively to busyness in our life? Okay, earlier we kind of like have the answers already. But anyway, this is a constant question that we can contemplate on and reflect upon. How can we refocus our busyness with joy, meaning, effectiveness, and value? Again, this is another question for us to reflect and to think about. Okay, and I would like everyone to share your own motto or find a motto for yourself that can help us cope with busyness in a wholesome way. Okay, sometimes like we have our own line to encourage ourselves, the motto, okay, a verse, a phrase that can help us, like when we are down, when we are feeling like letting go. That's something that can motivate us in coping with whatever that we need to cope with. Okay, if you haven't have a motto, I would like everyone to try to find it. Try to find a motto for your life. Okay, and I will post these questions on Google Classrooms, and I hope that everyone can also like share and contribute like your experience, so that we can learn together. Okay, so now, okay, it's time for questions or comments. Anyone? For those of you in person, you can go to that laptop and just unmute yourself, and everyone will be able to hear you. And for those of you online, you can. Oh, okay, Marisa, you have question?
It was just funny because I'm like in the middle of busyness and I'm like, I got to go to class so I can learn about busyness. Hi, everyone. But I think when you were saying about how do you feel about busyness so you don't get burnt out or anything like that, it's just knowing what are you busy for. And that's what's hard, I think, because sometimes I end up busy. I'm right now helping clean a house / doing stuff. And I'm like, oh, but I got to go to meditate. But then I had to come back here. So I don't know the answer to that yet, because I think sometimes for me, I assume things don't take as long as they actually do. I think my brain goes, oh, it's going to take an hour. And then you get at least I get overwhelmed. And how do I not do that? To realize realistically how much time and energy something takes. Like how does one be able to recognize time management? I know it sounds kind of weird to say that, but how much time something takes, and not to over task ourselves and our energy.
Okay, thank you, Marisa, for asking this question. I would like to open this to everyone for comments, sharing, based on what Marisa has asked. While you think about what you would like to comment, okay. For myself, I usually keep a list of to do, listing up based on the top priority, the due date, the deadlines, whether it is planning, replying emails, getting things done. I listed up every single one. And then every time when I finish it, I just cross out next, and then continue on the next task. When I finish, cross out. And in terms of like how much time I need to use to complete one task, sometimes it varies. But my reflection upon the time management is, if I can focus on one task that time, if I can focus well that moment, I can complete that task in a very short time. Okay. If, for example, during the day at the temple, I try to focus on the task, and of course, like sometimes the phone ring, the door bell ring, and sometimes that people come in and ask questions and talk to you. Then I will need to take a longer time in completing that task. But it doesn't mean that everyone is not my priority. When anyone who came to the temple and need to talk to me or talk to anyone, we will usually put aside whatever that we are in the middle of and try to attend to everyone. That is like being present, focusing on the present moment. Because if we don't do that, we might lose the opportunity. Time does fly. Okay, but our to-do list is still there. It won't go anywhere. It won't have other people who do it. It will still be our task. Yeah, by the end of the day, whatever that is unfinished will still need to be finished. Okay, but as long as we focus on, like, all the tasks, all the things that we need or busy with, that's always focusing on the meaning, the joy, and also the value in whatever that we are being busy of. Okay, so anyone would like to comment or reply, Marisa? Anyone would like to feedback? Anyone online? Anyone? Yeah. Okay, we have Gregory. Can you unmute yourself?
Yeah, just a comment on that myself. In my work, I was a little surprised with how one thing helped a lot, which is if a lot of emails are piling up and a lot of different distractions are coming together, I pick the ones that are the top priority and focus, as you say, which ultimately means many of them don't get addressed. And for some reason, that just always worked out better. People were remarkably understanding that things didn't get done, much more so than they would have many more things being half done. So I just sort of let it happen one day and kept going, and it was, yeah, great life improvement.
Okay, thank you, Gregory. Okay. So anyone else would like to have a comment or yes, or question? So we have Danny from here.
Okay, can you hear me or am I supposed to? Okay, everything all right. Marissa, and I just read an article speaking to what you were mentioned about how you think it's not going to take as long as it actually does. And I think this is a common problem. And I read an article that said that people misperceive their efficiency. You know, they think they can do things a lot more quickly and, aptly than they actually can. And this is not meant as a criticism for you. It's like, it's kind of like part of the human condition. And it's a sense, in a sense, it's kind of like wishful thinking. And I was thinking, well, why do we have that wishful thinking? And I thought, well, possibly it's because we have another agenda that we want to do some other things, so we want to rush through. And so we think, oh, well, I can do this real quickly and without any problems and stuff. And that's not how it works. So kind of gets you back to, I know for myself, it's like just to try to not, to get into non-self, I guess, and not to think it's got to be all about me, because there are other things that need to be done. Leslie and I, for example, this morning had ants in the kitchen that we had to deal with. So my agenda got kind of shot, but that's okay, because it wasn't about me, it was about the ants, Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Danny. Thank you for sharing. Okay. So online, we have Trent.
Hi, can you hear me?
Yes, yes.
Uh, so I have a follow-up questions to that. What if you sometime in your own circumstances and because of your superior or supervisor or professor asking for multiple things to be done and they all have the similar significance, importance, and they don't understand the amount of work required to get that done. So often I would feel like I'm being pulled like multiple ways. And I think it's hard to refocus because all of them are important and needs to be done, and the result need to be delivered. So how to find or how to refocus and find the values in what you do.
Okay, thank you, Trent or Shan?
Tran.
Trent, okay. And so, well, this is a very good question, and sometimes, like, I'm not sure, like, how you can communicate with the professors or even, like, the supervisor in a way. But I think that first thing is, like, they are all equally important, but we can only do one thing at a time, at one time. Okay, so I would try my best in completing it, but if the time is really the key here, I think that it might be better that we communicate with your teacher in a way, okay? Because every one of us only have 24 hours a day, and then we spend almost a third of time resting or sleeping or even eating or doing whatever that we need to do. But then when it comes to like the certain things that we need to complete within a certain deadline, and we cannot accomplish it, so what should we do? Okay, So sometimes it takes communication. Sometimes it really, we can only push ourselves this much. Okay. But going beyond that, what should we do? Okay. Sometimes communicating with whoever that we need to talk to, that is one of the ways that I can think of. But if any one of you have a better solution or any recommendation, you can share with Trent. Anyone? Do you have any suggestion as to, like, coping with whatever that she needs to finish? Anyone? Anyone online? Hi, Charles. Yes, Charles. Yes.
Yeah, I mean, one thing that I also recently learned is something called managing up. When in terms of managing, typically people are thinking the top level managerial folks are managing the reportee, but sometimes for the individual contributors itself, himself or herself, they need to communicate, like Venerable was mentioning, up what basically this is just, and explain to them why we might not be able to finish like 10 multiple tasks in one day. I mean, at the end of the day, everybody has to prioritize. I mean, including the manager himself. Which one is he going to make the most important out of his task? Yeah, I mean, it's interesting to me to hear the argument. I mean, the discussion, but I just want to bring this up for everyone. Like, there is some concept of managing up. Basically, it's not just the top level folks managing us and managing the down. Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you, Charles. Thank you for sharing. Yeah. So, yeah. So, well, we are all learning. We're all humans, and then we all have our limits. But sometimes we can go beyond our limits, but we still have limits on top of limits. Yeah, but we try our best. No matter how busy we are, we just try to manage as best as possible. But for us to be able to focus and continue in whatever that we are busy with, we really need to find Dharma joy, meaning, and also effectiveness and value in whatever that we are busy with. Okay. So because of the time, let me continue sharing, and then announcements is next week. We do not have class because we are going to have the Philip Party Memorial Service on Sunday. So I will be busy preparing for the annual prayer service. So next Saturday, we do not have class, okay? And following Saturday, April 8th, I'm going to share with everyone on the topic on how to get along with others and in a group. So in the book, the first version of the book is page 25 to 35. And for those of you with the second version of the book is page 22 to 29. Okay, so let us join our palms as we dedicate merit. May kindness, compassion, joy, and equanimity pervade all worlds. May we cherish and build affinities to benefit all beings. May chant, pure land, and precepts inspire equality and patience. May our humility and gratitude give rise to great vows. So I hope everyone have a great week. Be safe and healthy and all the best. And I'll see you in 2 weeks. Okay, and I'll post the questions for everyone to share on Google Classroom. So I'll see you on April 8th. Okay, bye-bye. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Venerable.
Thank you, Venerable.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye.